thank y'all for introducing yourself. So, before we get kicked off, for those of you that you may know a little bit about Juice Plus, I just want to introduce Juice Plus and a little bit about the company. And for those of you that don't know, Juice Plus has been around for over 30 years. So someone in your family has likely heard of Juice Plus, or even, probably even consumed the capsules at this point. And if not, then that's going to be you. You're going to be the first person in your family. So excited that you're able to be here on this call. But Juice Plus 30 years ago came up with the technology that allowed them to encapsulate fruits and vegetables for daily consumption. And the best part of all is they were able to preserve the amazing phytochemicals and nutrients that our bodies so badly crave. But they didn't just stop there. They have 25 plus years of clinical studies proving the efficacy of the products to have a positive impact on numerous aspects of our health. And to me, that's just amazing, that one product can do so many different things for everybody and our health. The Juice Plus products, you can see a few of them here on my left shoulder. These are the capsules, the fruits, vegetables, berries in the Omega blend. The fruit and vegetable berry also come in a chewable or a gummy version as well for adults, but also kids get those get the fruits and vegetables for free. So if you have any questions around that, make sure you ask the person that invited you to learn a little bit more about those. And the other thing that they offer, they also have a shake. They have a few different shake options. They've got one that's kind of a lower protein, more of your everyday, kind of a complete shake. It's actually called complete because it's got everything you need for a meal, whether it's post-workout, pre-workout, whatever it is. But then they also have another shake called the Perform Shake, and that's geared more toward the active individual or those that are just, trying to get back into working out, or they're avid athletes or professional athletes. That's what that one's geared for. And then one of the other products that they offer is the Juice Plus Tower Garden. That's for those of you that just love growing your own produce, or you want to start growing your own produce and you're just not sure where to start. The Tower Garden is a perfect, it's a aeroponic growing system. It's got a water reservoir on the bottom. The tower goes up to the middle and the plants grow inside or on the tower right there. It's really kind of hard to kill the plant. This is great for my wife. She definitely doesn't have a green thumb. All you got to do is keep the water reservoir full, and it just waters itself. So it's actually really awesome. It's on a timer, so you really can't mess it up. But again, that's just a little brief overview of the products. If any of that sounds good, just again, make sure you ask the person that invited you, and they're going to be more than happy to tell you a little bit more about all the products. But now that you know a little bit about the products, I wanted to kind of go into what the products have done for each of us. I'll get us kicked off, and then we'll go around the room. And then once we do all that, then there's the other piece of it that we'll get to, and that's the whole business side of things, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But for me, the products, they came around for me, actually, they came around a long time ago, actually, when I was still playing professional baseball in the Red Sox organization. But what was cool, I didn't realize at the time just what the products were. So I was like, hey, I'm a professional athlete. Hey, I'm going to take these awesome supplements at the time. But it wasn't until they came back around in my life a few years later when my wife brought them home that I really got a better understanding of what it was. I knew that fruits and vegetables were good, but I just didn't realize how important they were until I looked more into the Juice Plus products and realized that they have so much research proving that they're getting into your system. And best of all, whenever I started consuming them and started working it out regularly, my recovery time drastically reduced. And I know we'll get to some others that'll share a little bit more on that. But to me, that was the biggest thing. My recovery time was amazing following a workout. And then also my seasonal allergies went away. So that was a pretty awesome thing that came from that as well. But that's kind of what the products have done for me. So I want to kind of go around the room, and we'll start with John. John, what is the Juice Plus? What have the products done for you?
Well, Kipper, unlike you, I was a hockey guy, but I had to pay to get on the ice. I didn't get paid to go on the ice. So my story is a little different. But before Juice Plus, I've been eating the product for over 30 years now. And before Juice Plus, for me, I was kind of tired all the time. And one of my best friends was the snooze button on my back then it was actually a clock radio, if you're old enough to remember what those were. And it was kind of like Groundhog Day for me. I was frustrated because, what's the appropriate age to feel old and tired? And definitely it wasn't 31, which I was at the time. And my frustration was that I'd sleep all night and still be tired when I woke up. And every day started with a cup of coffee or two or three, and it never seemed like it was enough. And I needed more to get through the day. And it got to the point that I felt like, coffee was kind of my lifeline. So while I was never really sick, I did get sick of being tired all the time. And in my mind, I actually thought I was pretty healthy. I've always been active and playing sports and ate what I thought was, healthy. And um, but what I found was that as healthy as I tried to be, some days I just couldn't eat enough or any fruits and vegetables. So I started with the capsules and took them consistently and regularly every single day. And over time, I found I wasn't reaching for that cup of coffee anymore. And I was starting to get up before the alarm clock. My energy was better than it had ever been, and my workouts were getting better, and I was recovering quicker after playing, different sports. And I realized my sleep was even more sound. And you know, you can't beat a good night's sleep, right? So it's hard to believe that was over 30 years ago, but that whole food nutrition in the capsule made all the difference for me. And I'm the kind of guy that I'll do whatever it takes to feel the best that I can, and it's definitely made a huge difference in my life.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, that's amazing. Like anytime you hear someone say, "Hey, they've been taking something for over 30 years," that's pretty awesome. So definitely shows the longevity of it. So thanks for sharing. And Patrick, how about you?
Yeah, no, thanks again, Kipper, for having all of us on and being able to run this call. I love hearing from the men, and that's kind of something that really birthed my one of the aspects that really birthed my story with Juice Plus, and just kind of how the products have been involved in my life. At first, I was a young personal trainer. I was actually about to get my personal training certification when Mr. Kerry Daigle, who's actually one of the other speakers, had shared the product with me, and Kerry was speaking to me from a sports agent background, from a guy in professional boxing for a long time as a promoter as well, and has dealt with some of the top athletes in the world. And he saw me as a young aspiring trainer and wanted to give me some advice on the products I should be taking. And so we had a great conversation, and he really opened my eyes to a lot of things. And it was almost it was actually kind of a lot for my small brain to understand, because I thought I knew a lot about nutrition and health, being someone who's from working out myself, being former athlete, and continuing that lifestyle into my early 20s. Kerry was educating me on the value of seeing credibility behind what you're taking, and obviously being a trainer, it also kind of played into me becoming a trainer and protecting myself. And being able to share something, because I was always telling people what I was taking, but I never really understood or trusted what I was taking. I was experimenting on myself. I was always a young, healthy guy, never really had any issues that were blaring at that time. I have friends who had issues blaring, and I just didn't want something like that to start rising for me. So yes, a lot of it birthed from that personal training mind, wanting to put something in my body, and also eventually find stuff that I could recommend to my clients that was safe and effective. So the clinical research really spoke to me. The NSF certification, which Kipper didn't get to speak very much about that, but if you're wondering what the NSF certification is, it's a very prestigious certification that you can get, really the top of the line, that can clarify that your product's doing what it's supposed to be doing and that it's safe for you. So when I saw those things, I really just trusted the product. Like I said, I didn't have really any health challenges going on, but I knew the importance of health and that's the foundation of fitness, because that was my scope that I was always in. But I knew that health came first, and if I could get people healthy or get myself healthy, then my fitness would excel. And so going through that and just doing diligence, looking at it took me a while actually to wrap my head around some of the clinical research, the NSF certification, things that are really big deals, and we should look at really with a keen eye. And I was looking at it so hard, I had to poke the bear a lot. It took me a while. It probably took me about a year and a half. Me and Kerry continued conversation for me to finally get an understanding of the product and why it was so different. I hope that maybe you listening in tonight, if you've been kind of poking the bear or wondering why we think so highly of this, definitely poke the bear, but don't wait as long as me, because the effects for me, like I said, I didn't have any health challenges, but I've seen a lot of things that I've prevented. I've seen a lot of my family history that's rising in other parts of my family that I feel like I've avoided. I can't say that I have, but I know that that's what I was kind of set up with. But I also love the performance aspect, being someone who's always held myself in that athletic mind. I still, compete in a lot of things. At the time I was competing in bodybuilding. Now I've transitioned into endurance sports, completed an Ironman and have been able to qualify for the Boston Marathon. So really just vigorous training all the time, and seeing that performance really stay at a high level is something that I know that the clinical research is proving for me. Like I said, I didn't have any health challenges that I was leaning to the clinical research to give me hope and want to be better. But it was seeing the clinical research and relating that into what could that do in my body. And that's what I really wanted to do, was to see what kind of potential I could really have if I was feeling my body the best. I was already trying, but I was coming up short. The fruit and vegetable nutrition is where I knew I was missing. And that's really what made sense for me. And that's kind of the things that I've noticed is better recovery, like you said, Kipper, but also just seeing actual performance changes. I wear a heart rate monitor 24/7. So I'm watching my heart get stronger every day. I'm watching my body get stronger every day. And I know that that's because of what our clinical research findings are. If you want more details, like Kipper said a couple of times, ask people about that clinical research. That'll show you what I'm talking about. And I love watching that play out of my body. So that's what's done for me, Kipper.
That's awesome. And yeah, and like I said, obviously starting earlier is always better, but it's just remember for those online, it's never too late to start doing better for your health. You got to start somewhere. So again, it's never too late. But again, that's all awesome, Patrick. So I appreciate you sharing that. So we'll go ahead and kick it over to Kerry now. How about you, Kerry?
Well, I'm honored to be on here with these three young bucks. I mean, that's exactly what they are. They all pretty fit and work out pretty regular. And that's been my background. I've been a sports agent since 1970 in combat sports. And I just needed a product that was simple, but yes, the best available for world-class athletes. Understand that in combat sports, you're dealing with athletes from every country in the world. And the competition is fierce because to be a world champion in a certain weight division, it's one-on-one competition to be number one in the world. So I needed a world-class product. And I looked for years. I looked at everything. I tried everything. And when Juice Plus came out, it was so simple. It was like fruits, vegetables, and berries. Well, at that time, just fruits and vegetables in 1993. And I started thinking, who wouldn't understand fruits and vegetables? I mean, if you were 6 years old or 106, you would get it. So I said, this stuff's got to be interesting. And my entrepreneurial mind kind of kicked in because here's this multi-billion-dollar company investing millions of dollars in bringing this product to fruition. I knew one thing. Why would they be spending the amount of money they were spending to bring this product out unless they knew something I did not know? So I jumped in with both feet. My entrepreneurial mind kicked in. And I said, I'm going to go after this. It just makes a lot of sense. And Juice Plus studies and NSF certification, which is something that everyone has been speaking of. Nothing close has ever appeared in my 4+ decades of sports management. It's a no-brainer. It's a product that I knew would never be a problem. Kipper, you're going to like this. Never be a problem with drug testing, because a lot of drug testing, a lot of athletes that fail a drug test will fail a drug test because of some type of supplementation that they were taking with a hidden ingredient in it that they were not aware of, not even understanding why they didn't pass the drug test, because someone recommended something that was not NSF certified and didn't have the high quality of a Juice Plus. That's really my story. This is a no-brainer. It's the best product in the world. It's the GOAT, greatest product in the world, greatest of all time, Juice Plus. Here it is.
Yep. No, I completely agree. And you're definitely right. The whole drug testing thing, that was one of my biggest fears when I was playing, I never wanted to take something that could possibly, take me away from chasing my dream and being able to make it to being a professional athlete. And, I saw a few of my teammates over the years, they're like, I'm just taking all this random stuff. And I was like, it doesn't look like it's helping you, but they're just taking all this random stuff. And sure enough, they would fail a drug test and they get suspended for a couple games. And, they were missing out on taking that next step. So yeah, you're definitely right.
In our sport, you would get suspended, but you get fined. And sometimes the fines were in the millions. Sometimes it's just a few $100,000. But that's a lot of money for an athlete to throw away because someone recommended something to them that was not clean and they were not aware of it. So the first thing I do, Kipper, all the time when I'm working with young personal trainers like Patrick is, number one, educate them to understand before you get out there and start working with the masses and a Kipper walks into your gym and he starts working out and you recommend a product to him and he doesn't pass a drug test and it's probably a product you gave him and I'm Kipper's agent, I'm sorry, I got to go after you, man. I got to bury you so that Kipper can get back to work. I've got to do that. That's my job. So to all of you that are recommended products out there, be sure you know what you're recommending. Here's the cleanest one in the world.
Yeah, and that you're completely right. And the other awesome thing about that is the products, they're safe for everyone. I know this is the call geared towards the guys, but just know that this is safe from womb to tomb. So even for expecting mothers, it's like the preferred prenatal that doctors will recommend. Well, certain doctors will recommend because they know what fruits and veggies can do. But the fact that it's safe for everybody, that's another thing that just makes this product, so amazing, and just why it's been a great addition to our health, and not even just mine, but even my wife. It allowed her to start sleeping better, which allowed me to start sleeping better. So that was the biggest thing,
Oh, Kipper froze up on us, Andrea. But I'll kind of take over for a minute. One thing that's important here is that Juice Plus is so good that it's almost impossible to say no to it. When you look at Kipper and you look at John and you look at Patrick, who were in tip-top physical condition, you would think, okay, number one, yes, the product is perfect for them, but think about the people that are not in the physical condition they're in, the people that are not exercising and taking care of themselves on a regular basis. Kipper hit everything right on the head. This product is for, think about the people that are not in those, not those physical specimens, I call them, and how this product is needed for them. So this is just something that everyone can take, male or female, doesn't matter what age, there's no warnings. I mean, you can't overdose on it. You can't eat too many fruits and vegetables, not at all. So, I mean, it's phenomenal. Kipper, you're 100% correct. A lot of fun. A lot of fun with this product.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Sorry, my connection was a little unstable there. But anyways, obviously, just the products have just been a great addition to all of our health. So again, just so great to hear what it's done for everybody. So at this time, so obviously the Juice Plus products, but then there's also the business side of it, and that's where, each and every one of us on the line here, we're all partnered with the Juice Plus company, and just kind of what the business has done for us is what we're going to be sharing on next. And, for me, I have a successful career as a senior health and safety manager for a large construction company. And I enjoy what I do, but the thought of doing it for the next 30 years does not excite me. Punching in, going to work every single day for the next 30 years to work for somebody else is not exciting. It's just not. Now it works. I enjoy it. But that's why whenever, I saw the Juice Plus business and how Carrie touched on it earlier, it's a, world-class product and everybody can take it. That's where the entrepreneurial side really kicked in and said, hey, this is the product that I do want to share with everybody because of what it's capable of doing. So, that's where for me, it was a no-brainer. Me and my wife, we started our Juice Plus business and we started going down the road and, just started sharing with everybody, and it's been great. And, I think the greatest part about it all is, and some of the others will likely get to this as well, but, making additional income is awesome. And, eventually it'll be our plan A, but the thing that really, caught my attention was the fact that the Juice Plus company, when you make it to the top level in the company, you qualify for a full corporate benefits package. There's no other, company out there, no other, network marketing company out there that offers anything like that lets you be your own boss, your own company. But then they said, hey, don't worry, we got you as well. We're going to take care of you with a corporate, benefits package. So, to me, that's my driving force on why this business, not only do I get to help people, and that's a direct reflection of helping them, but it's also helping us as well. So that's where, for me, the business makes the most sense for us. But John, what about you? What about the business made sense to you?
Well, for me, 20 years ago, I was a financial planner, stockbroker guy up in Canada on Bay Street, the Wall Street of Canada. And I, like you, had a successful career. And, then on the surface, anyone would ask, why would you ever leave this? And I had been a happy customer for 10 years at that point. And there just came a time that I had to ask myself a few questions. And, was I truly happy? Was I living the life I wanted? And did my career match my heart? And the answer was the same to all three of them. It was no. I wasn't truly happy. My life was okay, but like you said, I didn't want to be stuck behind a desk the rest of my life. I wanted some freedom. And so I spoke to my friend one day, that had shared the Juice Plus with me, and I decided to check it out. I looked at the business and wondered, can I actually make money doing this? Because that was the first thing I wanted to know. Like, the product's great, but like, can you make money doing it? It's $50 a month or whatever it was back then. How can you make any money, right? So what I saw was average people making above average income. They were just everyday people like you and I. They put their pants on one leg at a time. They weren't superheroes or anything. And so then I checked out the company. And back then, if you check it out today, you'll find out it's over 50 years old. They've done over 15 billion in sales, projecting to be $1 billion company in the next few years. The founder of the company from 1970 was still around, Jay Martin, and he's still involved today. And all those things impressed me because you don't find that typically with a company. And, I knew that for me to have that freedom that I always wanted, I had to do something different. And, I wanted to help others in an impactful way. And what I found was, that Inspiring Healthy Living actually did that. It filled up my cup. And so I went to work back 20 years ago, and I just followed the simple system that was in place at the time, and that's been improved and fine-tuned today. And after 39 months as a side hustle, got to that top position and got that benefit plan that you're talking about. And for me, it's about helping people become more than they believe they can be. Others always believe in us before we believe in ourselves. There's always somebody out there that sees something in us before we actually believe it or realize it. And that's, I think, the coolest thing about this business is helping people to realize that, they've got that potential, that they can actually do more than what they can. And that's the power behind this business, is you've got mentors, you've got people to help you. When you're climbing the corporate ladder, someone's always stepping on your fingers, because if you get up to where they are, they better be moving up or they're moving out, right? Here, we reach down and help people come up. We're not stepping on their ladders. We're putting a hand out and helping them. We're not doing it for them, but we're there to guide them and kind of, the path has been cut. So, we're going to show you the way. And, giving people that chance for freedom and a life of choice, that's what we get to do every day. And, I met my wife through the business, which is awesome. I mean, we work the business together today. And a little over 4 years ago, I moved to the US and we got married. And 2 weeks ago, I became a citizen. And last weekend, I got to use my passport for the first time. So it's great. whatever you're looking for in life, you can get with this business, but you've got to put the effort in too. Nothing worthwhile doing is easy. It's a simple business, but you got to go to work. And to me, it's just very rewarding.
Yeah, you're completely right. There's no better feeling than when someone comes and says, "Hey, guess what? I went to my doctor and they were able to take me off of a few different medications, and or my health has just improved." There's no better feeling, than someone saying, "Hey, thank you so much for sharing this with me, because I don't know where I'd be if I wasn't taking consuming these products, whatever." So you're right. Helping people is truly remarkable. And all right, so Patrick, how about you?
Yeah, well, these, John, I've been watching him for a few years now, learning from him, and that's kind of one of the biggest things for me that I think is, and John kind of said it, but is one of the biggest impacts in my life is the mentorship that we have here. A little bit about my story. I guess I'll skip the story, but I'll say what happened. I made some life mistakes that made me have to take a real deep look at where I was going. Along with those life mistakes, I decided to leave college. Didn't know if I was going back or not. But I kind of had to face the facts a little bit after that and realized that I probably wasn't going back to college, because I kind of saw a path for myself. But I knew whenever I started to face those facts that I had to learn a couple of things. And I think all of us have to learn these things eventually. I'm grateful that the stupid decisions that I made put me in a position from a mental standpoint to really want to absorb what people were trying to teach and impress upon me. I really had to learn how to make money. I mean, that was at the end of the day what it was. I had to learn how to make money, because I probably wasn't going to go get this big fancy shiny job, and I'm kind of glad I didn't. But from having that desire, and again, I come back to the story of meeting Kerry. He was also sharing with me the business along with it. Obviously, a lot of people think like, well, Patrick, you're a personal trainer. Doesn't that fit perfectly? Well, I'll tell you that yes and no, and more no. It's the same for everyone. And the more that I really leaned in to learn from what the company was really trying to teach me, like John kind of already said, and I don't want to repeat, but these are things that impacted me, was just learn from the system in front of me. I learned from mentors that had done it before me. I don't know hopefully a lot of us are already kind of seeing this, but there's a massive movement of teaching people and teaching young people, but not just young people, but everyone, the power of mentorship and the power of watching and learning from people that emulate what you want. And that's what I saw. Like John said, there was people that were making abnormal income, offering this product to the marketplace. And so as I started to learn about making money and not just from the Juice Plus company, but seeing things happen in my life and following the system that was in place, I started to see how open the market was to be able to offer Juice Plus. I shared kind of my excitement for the performance side. That's just one very, very small aspect of really what Juice Plus has to offer. Like Kipper said, it's there for people anywhere from 6 to 106, from womb to tomb, whatever you are thinking, or just where anyone is in their journey. They can start to consume Juice Plus and see some positive results. We all know that fruits and vegetables are at the foundation of a good diet, and that's all that's in Juice Plus. That took me a long time to wrap my head around, but starting to understand that really deeply, I saw how many people that I could impact. I started to see that everyone can be impacted in some type of way with this product. So I saw, hey, that's an opportunity to make money, because I can offer this to anyone. Like I'm not strapped to a certain, type of person. Yes, there are specific things that attract types of people, but it's not restricted to those. And I love what this company is doing, and where we are, as we're continuing to innovate and just build upon what we already have as a company. The messages that we're bringing, it's only opening up the market even more as far as who can really understand what Juice Plus has to offer. It's not that anyone can't. It's that how can we provide that message? And so again, just kind of learning that and learning the system that was in place. But those are things that attracted me. What it's done for me is that I was 22 when I really jumped in the boat. and really started to hustle and want to build more. But I wasn't, making this amazing amount of money. I was making about $500 a month passively through the company, meaning not passively. I'd gotten some customers, and these people were sticking. They were seeing the value of the product and they were continuing to buy. That's kind of, for you business minds, you might understand the value of that. But making that $500, it seemed like not a lot to me. I was like, I'm seeing like people make a bunch of money, and that seems like nothing. Well, my car decided to die on me, and I was 22 years old, trying to figure out what to do. And that $500 saved my butt. And I would use other words, but it saved my butt. And because I was sitting here with this massive weight in a matter of a day that just dropped on me, trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I know I'm talking about a little car issue that it seems like everybody goes through, but I didn't realize how much that would play into other aspects of my life later. But that $500 got me through that time. And I was looking back at my bank account, like, how am I doing this? Obviously, like, you got to buy a new car. You're like, all right, tighten up the budget. Let's go. But then I started to see that I was actually like coming up with more money at the end of the month. So again, I started to learn a lot of fundamentals. Again, 22 years old, I was young and dumb and just, wanting to go do whatever I could on a weekend, but I really learned a very valuable lesson that I think not a lot of people learn until later in life. And I'm glad that it happened to me, because I'm watching, I was watching people around my age making the same mistakes, coming up at the end of the month with no money or more month at the end of the money. And I saw that $500 make a big difference. There's a lot of people that do a lot of things, invest a lot of money, do a lot of stuff that is hard and takes time and years to try to build build $500 a month. I mean, I'm sure maybe all of us can think of the things that we're trying to do to be able to get that type of income coming in. And so I saw that cash flow opportunity. Again, I didn't get it at first. Whenever I started, none of that really made sense. But that was a lesson that I learned. And now I see that we've got a very valuable thing going on here. There's a lot of people, there's people that make a lot of money. There's a lot of people who make very little money or a couple $100 a month. But again, I'm watching people pursue things. I'm like, well, okay, how much are you going to gain from that? Well, I'll probably make like $200 a month. Okay, cool. Well, let me show you how to, gain a few customers as well. And you can also make that $200 a month and get happy customers and feel fulfilled with what you're doing. So those are some lessons that I learned. And yeah, I mean, I'm just like Kipper. I love our benefits package. I was thinking about when I started to realize I had to make money, I had to try to figure out, well, how am I going to build a retirement? Because I don't have that opportunity. This is something that you can retire into. You see a lot of the wealthiest people in the world, they retire into their business or retire into what they're already doing, because they've created something that is maybe a part of their lifestyle or sustainable for what they're doing, that they can continue to do even whenever it's tough to get up and go do a job. So I wanted to learn how to do those things at an early age. That's what Carrie's been in my story since day one. He's like a father to me. So it's just it just so happens that y'all get to hear from both of us on this little call tonight. But it's mentors like Carrie that I can't put a price tag on. The amount of knowledge that I've been able to learn from everyone in the company, that's stuff that people pay lots of money or do lots of things to try to go get that knowledge. And it's right here at your grasp. And it's just about plugging in, following the system, doing it the way that you want to do, having the freedom to choose. And it's just been a heck of a ride. My wife now, she's a national marketing director with the company, qualifies for that benefits package. It's been an amazing blessing on us because we don't have, the big fancy schmancy JOBs that give us the full benefits package, but we got we got a solid one. I'm talking to other people and I'm like, man, I hadn't even had to dive into this realm yet, but I'm already seeing what it's paid off just in that little aspect. But again, what could $200, $500, maybe you want more, maybe you want 1,000. That's cool. But like the stuff, the other things that you're getting that are intangible, that you have to do a lot to get. You also have that stuff here just at your fingertips. You can reach out to anyone, talk to anyone that you want. So those have been some of the best things for me and has impacted me tremendously.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think this is you're just a prime example of how this business it can be for anybody. It doesn't matter if you dropped out of college or you went to college. You're just a prime example of when you decided enough was enough. This was the vehicle that you were able to utilize and take yourself where you wanted to go. So again, it's a global initiative. It's in over 28 countries. So again, the fact that it's that large but can means so much to just one person in one little area just makes it remarkable. And again, your story is just awesome. So thank you. So now we'll go ahead and kick it over to Carrie.
Well, when I listen to you, Kipper, and I listen to John and I listen to Patrick, it makes me very proud to know that I'm part of a company to see a lot of young stars grow and build something substantial. And John, I'm talking to you, buddy, young stars. So Patrick brought something up that's real important, mentorship. Without mentorship, you're not going to travel or go anywhere. You need good mentorship to be able to grow. People that you can trust, people you can rely on. And Patrick, you mentioned life's mistakes. Well, son, I made a lot more life's mistakes than you'll ever make. And I will tell you this, I started with this company in 1989. And I told the gentleman that came to my office every day for 6 weeks, no. And what kept me out of this company was my ego. I didn't want to look at what this was all about. And let me tell you something about egos. All of you that are listening in, a big ego will keep you broke. I haven't met anyone that's highly successful that is not as humble as can be. Now, many people hide behind egos, and these egos give a false impression as to who they really are. I was just so busy running my promotional company, I didn't want to take a look until one day my wife, Mickey, and I were married 1 month, and she asked me a question. And here I am doing shows on ESPN, on HBO, Showtime, Fox, all the major networks. And I'm doing shows all over the world. And she came into my office one day at home, and she walks in with a little smile on her face. And she says, you've always listened to mentors all your life. Would you consider Mr. Steckler, that's who was introducing the company to me, a mentor? I said, absolutely. Is he more successful than you? I said, oh my goodness, Mr. Steckler is worth millions of dollars. And there she is with her little smile, my tiny little wife. She looks right at me in my eyes and she says, you're not a millionaire, are you? I said, not yet. Trying to be optimistic. And then she smiled and she said, why wouldn't you listen to him? Wow. I went from 6 foot tall, about 4'1". And it took me about 20 minutes sitting in that office to realize, slow down, Carrie, pay attention and listen to what you've been presented. Never prejudge. Always look into anything that different people bring to you. Don't prejudge any people. I've been taking notes from Kipper. I've been taking notes from John and from Patrick while everyone was speaking and sharing their stories. They gave you all the information you need. I can just tell you this, the business model of Juice Plus, in my opinion, is the last bastion of free enterprise, period. It is one of the most intelligent and profitable ways to develop a portfolio of income, of lasting recurring income. That could be for retirement. That could be for investment opportunities. That could be just to buy back some time freedom. Especially with a product that will never be a fad. See, fruits and vegetables have been around since Genesis and the Bible. It's not a fad. It's been here a long time, and we're always going to need it. So it's about having the right product with the right company. And there's just no competition when it comes to credibility and tenure in the whole food industry. I mean, no competition. In reality, For the person who is looking for, I call the very best, listen carefully. There is no competition. None. Zero. And don't even try to compete with anyone. There's no one to compete with. There's nothing to compare it to. You heard what Kipper brought up earlier about the science. You heard about the benefit package that you get at the top level. You heard about recurring income. You heard about all the studies, the credibility. What is it you wouldn't understand? What part? The 47 published studies? The NSF certification? Or the money? What part you don't get? You know, it fits. The business model fits. Everything fits. I'm going to close it with this simple analogy, Kipper. Real simple. If you're driving a Bentley and you drive up in your Bentley in a driveway and there's a Ford Escort parked right next to you, do you need to explain the difference between the two? Heck no. You're in the Bentley, baby. This is the Bentley. You got the best. There's no one that can challenge me from any level, any sport, any manager of any sports team, any sports agent, any athlete, challenge me. You can't. I'm going to win 100% of the time because I got the GOAT. That's it.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely riding in a Bentley. So again, just greatly appreciate you sharing that. That's an awesome analogy. And you know, so at this time, we'll go ahead and we're going to go ahead and stop. Sorry, I forgot one piece. If anything we said tonight makes sense, which there was so much stuff that that definitely was just awesome. If any of this made sense, be sure you reach out to the person that invited you. And if you're watching the recording on this, be sure to just follow up with any questions. And again, the person that shared it with you, they're going to be more than happy to answer those questions. And again, just want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time this evening to jump on and be a part of this. And again, big thanks to the speakers as well. But at this time, we'll go ahead and stop the recording.